I pulled out my phone, pretending to check messages, but in reality I was taking a moment to etch this ordinary scene into my memory. The safety, the love, the simple pleasure of family, and wondering if one day I could make sense of everything so I could have this for real. "You know, yesterday Annie said pancake, clear as day," James said, a note of pride in his voice as he transferred the last pancake onto the plate. "Is that so?" I turned to Annie, who was now more syrup than toddler. There it was, my own flash of pride for the little girl who'd wormed her way into my heart. "Annie, can you say pancake?" She beamed, syrupy spoon in hand, and declared, "Cake!" "Close enough," James laughed. I felt a warmth that had nothing to do with the summer sun streaming through the window. James and his daughter were a family, and this is what I'd fought so hard to protect, and why I'd agreed to this undercover gig in the first place. Not that I had many options aside from mercenary work, which sucked big time. "I meant to say," James began, and I steeled myself for the usual demand he made when I left the house to work. "I know we're not—" He lowered his voice as if Annie would understand. "You know, married for real, but if you can just send a message when you're about to, work my cover to infiltrate the bad guy's lair," I deadpanned. He flushed. "I know it's not always possible, but—" "I will if I can, promise." I reassured him, because we might not be in love or really married, but I liked the guy. And Annie, a whole lot. I glanced at my watch and then at Annie, who was now trying to feed her pancake to Buzzy Bear, her beloved teddy bear. James nodded, a smile flickering over his lips, but his eyes betrayed the worry that never quite left them these days. "Annie, sweetheart, Buzzy Bear doesn't eat pancakes, remember?" He chided and petted her hair. "Buzzy!" Annie's protest was obvious, her tiny fingers trying to push a piece of pancake into the teddy's stitched mouth. I couldn't help but chuckle. "Maybe Buzzy Bear would prefer to dance over here?" I suggested, taking the teddy and making it dance in front of her, earning a giggle from Annie and a grateful look from James. This wasn't me. I didn't plan on kids in my life. Hell, I didn't plan on family.